Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the ultramagnetic Taboo Black Eyed Peas, and I'm very honored to bring the energy, the good medicine with my brother, Shawn Stockman. On that note, you know what it is. I got a feeling this is going to be a dope episode.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of On That Note, the podcast where we speak a language we all understand, and that is music. Today's guest is an original member of the globally successful hip-hop band, the Black Eyed Peas. They sold over 80 million records. Let that sink in. 80 million records, all right?
Back when records were being sold.
Back when records were being sold. Worldwide, okay? Their one album alone called The End, E-N-D, released in 2009, sold over 11 million copies around the world. Folks, that is called Diamond. That is beyond platinum. That is the rock. That is the shiny little stone. Very few people are in that club. Their albums Ella Funk and Monkey Business also went certified multi-platinum in several countries. And please correct me if any of these stats are wrong, okay? They recorded some of the biggest songs in the world, including Billboard chart-topping hits Boom Boom Pow, #1 for 12 consecutive weeks. I Got a Feeling, #1 for 14 consecutive weeks. Y'all know these songs, so stop playing. Like, right? I'm a Bee, which was #1. And Where is the Love?
Yes.
Top 10 hit in over 20 countries. They've honestly won way too many awards for me to mention, so I'm not even going to, or else we wouldn't have an interview. So I'm not even going to get into that part of it. So with you, let's just say just know that they won a lot of awards. But I will say one thing we'll note, streaming and digital success, right? I Got a Feeling was one of the first songs to surpass 10 million downloads in the US and over 10 billion streams across platforms as of recent years, being one of the groups in the forefront of the changing industry. You know, when the music industry changed, they were still on top of it. Listen, he's a rapper, singer, songwriter, actor, husband, DJ, comic book writer.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get into that.
Boom.
No, we're going to get into that because I'm a comic geek.
Yeah, all right, cool.
So, and an all-around good dude. Like, I've known this guy for years. And you know, it's such an honor to, this the cool thing about this podcast. I'm able to like actually have conversations with my friends. I don't even call them interviews. These are conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jamie Luis Gomez, a.k.a. Taboo Nawasha, a.k.a. Bobby Green Toes.
No. Kid J did the same thing, bro. Let me clarify, ladies and gentlemen.
It was made up.
Yes. Clear it up. Let's go.
Wikipedia is wrong.
It's wrong?
I do not go by Bobby Green Toes.
Or Jim Lewis Angryfoot?
Jim Lewis Angryfoot is.
Okay, cool.
That's truth.
So, okay, cool. So correction in real time.
Yes.
Fuck Bobby Green Toes.
Yep. No Bobby Green Toes.
No Bobby Green Toes, but a.k.a. Jim Lewis Angryfoot,
yes,
a.k.a. Taboo.
Thank you, brother.
My God. See, this is the type of pod we doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's correction in real time.
All good.
It's all love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How you been?
I'm good, brother. First of all, let me say congratulations on this amazing, beautiful platform you got to advocate for not only artists, but people, good people in general.
Yeah.
So let's make some noise for that.
Oh, man, thank you. Thank you very much. Shout out to my partner, Brian. And you know, it's a cool thing, man, because again, what I said off camera is that I'm able to do what I've always wanted to do. And it does take people to believe in it. Now, you can have an idea, but if you don't have people actually behind you believing in what you see for yourself, then it'll never come to fruition. So, you know, Brian was an integral part of saying, "Yo, I like it. Let's take a chance." And fortunately, it's garnished a lot of quick success, and it's growing still. Thanks to all of you beautiful human beings who get it, who connected and understand what it is and I'm trying to do. And again, you're an addition to this.
Thank you.
You're bringing the positive energy, and we're going to talk about that beautiful jewelry you got, and how can I get some, and all that other stuff. But first, let's get into how I like to present every interview. I like for all of our viewers, that is if you're not driving, because we don't want any accidents, like I do a segment called "We Gonna Go Back, Way Back, Back into Time," where the viewer or the listener is going to close their eyes, right? And you, Taboo, we're going to go back, let's say to about 1985. You were like 10.
Yep.
In LA. Where you from?
Yep.
You wake up, Start your day. Give us the sights, the smells, but most importantly, the music. What did you hear around the house that inspired young Jamie to become who we now know as Taboo Nawasha?
So, undada, undodo,
Hey.
undodo,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that was, yes, sir. So for me as a popper, as a b-boy, as a young kid coming up in LA, loving the breaking element, loving hip hop. 85, I'm thinking about KDAY, Uncle Jam's Army. I'm thinking about, Soul Sonic Force. I'm thinking about, Battle Ram. You can't stop it, baby. I'm thinking about jam. This LA stuff.
Yo,
right?
Again, man, people don't understand the culture of hip hop and b-boying and all the other stuff. Yeah, it started in New York, but it was a huge wave that went across the country.
Well, just to let you guys know that although shout outs to Rocksteady and all the b-boys and breakers from New York, in LA, our scene was Radiotron. We had cats like Michael Chambers, aka Boogaloo Shrimp, Poppin' Taco, the lockers that were on the Boogaloos from Soul Train.
Yeah.
So we had a beautiful variety of poppers and lockers in LA.
Yes.
And so I gravitated to that style. Although I had fundamentals as a b-boy and loved the groundwork of breaking, popping was my thing.
Yeah.
And then you incorporate someone like Lee Daniels teaching Michael Jackson how to do the,
dig.
I mean, Jeffrey Daniels.
Daniels from Shalimar.
Yeah, from Shalimar. Sorry.
Teach him the moonwalk.
Jeffrey Daniels.
But
But also being a student of the Berry Brothers, the Nicholas Brothers, Danny Kaye, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, and wanting to learn movements, Bob Fosse, wanting to learn movements that were not your traditional hip hop movement.
Right.
But how we can incorporate the foundation of different styles and art forms. And then me being Native American and Mexican, I love the powwow style of our different tribes. And so incorporating all that, being a kid who loved Kung Fu movies, Bruce Lee, I incorporated martial art form, footwork, freestyle. But that was my daily life as a kid.
Wow.
10 years old, just being a student, wanting to dance in my backyard, practicing three times a day or 3 hours a day to get to over 10,000 hours throughout my throughout my career. But it was always about dance. And it was being in my grandmother's house, practicing in her living room. She would, announce me from Los Angeles, California, give it up for Jimmy Gomez. And I would be performing in her living room, and the smile and the energy that lit up in her face allowed me to dream that I can go from one day being in her living room to the next day or next future being on the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Right. Wow.
Let that
Super
sink
Bowl,
in.
folks. Let that sink in. Super Bowl.
From my grandmother's living room
to the Super Bowl.
To 2011 Black Eyed Peas headlining the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And whether you rock with it or not, we had our opportunity and we're thankful, we're blessed. But it all started in my grandmother's living room.
Hell yeah. That's right. Well, it's let this be a lesson, kids, and adults, that dreams can become reality. I know that sounds cheesy, but that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You have to visualize where it is you want to be first.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Just to add on it, and I just always want to acknowledge the matriarch of my family, my grandmother, as my hero, my hero without a cape. And as much as I talk about her, I always want to hold her at a high regard as the hero that inspired me to be a better Jimmy Gomez each day. Not Taboo of the Black Eyed Peas, but Jimmy Gomez, the dad, the husband, Jamie's husband. Shout out to my wife, Jamie. But it all stemmed from my grandmother's love and her appreciation and her leadership and being the matriarch of my tribe.
Right.
And so she taught me how to really be resilient, go after my dreams, dream big, believe you can achieve, but ultimately stay rooted and connected to my tribal communities.
Shout out to Abuela.
Yep.
She
nanny.
my nanny. She raised an amazing young man.
Thank you, bro.
And again, it's always been that way.
Yes, sir.
With you, Taboo. Like every time we would see you around, whether on the road or at your wedding.
At my wedding.
I was about to say at
we'll
your
talk
wedding.
About that.
Yep. It's always been just genuine energy and love, which is rare. I mean, I had a guest on our show before, and we would talk about how a lot of people in the industry, they come off a little strange, where it's like they just can't be normal.
Yeah.
It's like they just,
They have to always be on.
Yeah, to have a conversation with a person.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look, I know you're famous. I know you sold a lot of records. That's great.
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to talk to you about
Facts.
basketball.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it.
and it comes off just so like you can't be that cool all the time.
Exactly.
Like you wake up with the sunglasses on, my guy. Like it's weird.
Well, you have to go through some trials and tribulations. Like for me, because I had a kid at 16, 17 years old. I was a teen father. I battled addiction for many years, became sober in 2007. Sobriety is sacred to me. 18 years removed from that time period.
Awesome.
And
God
then
bless you.
Thank you, brother. 2014, I got diagnosed with cancer. So I had to surrender ego. A lot of people in the industry do not surrender ego. They are built on ego and bravado.
Yeah.
So for me, shedding ego, being vulnerable, knowing that at the end of the day, before you tell me what's wrong with me, let me tell you what's wrong with me. Because I have no filter. I've been down and out. I've had trials and tribulations, but I think it's made me a better person to not be perfect, to not come off as trying to be a certain point of view or perspective that people may have about celebrity or artist or because you have X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, I'm just a husband and a father, bro.
Wow.
And that's who I am. That's what makes me Jimmy Gomez each day.
Right.
Knowing that I can look in the camera and say, I'm proud to be a husband. I'm proud to be a father. And I'm proud to be an example and a role model to my 7 generations and for the kids and the youth to hold on to their dreams. And like you said, it's not some kumbaya, corny. It's real talk, brother.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from a real place.
Yes.
And I'm genuine when it comes to my passion and how detailed I am to talk about my losses as much as I talk about my wins.
Well, we're going to talk about that because you enduring the things that you've endured and still have the spirit that you have is, I believe, is the reason why you were and are as successful as you are. And why you're still able to look as good as you do and still have that same type of energy.
Yes, sir.
Because of what you've been through. Like the humility stems from a real place.
It does.
So that's why you are who you are. But let's go to 1988, right? 8th grade.
Yes.
You meet your partners. William.
9th grade.
9th grade.
So just to make sure that the timeline is great.
Please.
So actually 1988 is the year before Apple came from the Philippines. Apple comes from the Philippines in 1989, meets Will.i.am. They become a dance crew, Tribal Nation. And from 90 to like 92, they're a dance crew along with our boy named Mook. Okay. I'm in Rosemead, San Gabriel Valley. I got my group called Tribal Brothers. We're all like freestyle dancers. Right. Like we're inspired by like Divine Stylers, Soul Brothers, Scheme Team, Mop Tops.
Love the Soul Brothers.
For sure, bro.
Yeah,
we
Soul
all
Brothers
came up, Soul Brothers, I mean, Craig E and V-Love and Legend. So we came up on that dancing and we started incorporating dancing with our performances. So we met at this club called Ballistics in 1992. And that was Bud Bundy, David Faustino from Married with Children. He was throwing this hip hop club.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's right. Because he was heavy in the culture.
Yeah, he was heavy in the culture.
That's
right. So it was people like Leonardo DiCaprio and Robin Thicke and all these people that were, from the acting world coming to this club that was a hip hop club. And you had DJ Speed, you had Eazy-E coming through, and Will was Will.i.am at the time. He was battling. He was a battle MC. So he was battling other MCs, and me and Apple were killing the dance floor. Right. So we became a crew of dancers, musicians, poets, producers, songwriters that were called Grassroots. And at that time, my boy Polo, who's now our manager, Polo Molina, he kind of brought us all together. And we became this beautiful family. And when Eazy-E signed Will and Apple to be like the version of Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul in the West Coast, jazzy backpack hip hop.
Yes.
Eazy-E had this vision for Will and Apple and Mook, which their group was called A Tribe Beyond a Nation at Band Clan. Yeah. Before Black Eyed Peas.
Right.
Unfortunately, Eazy-E passed away. And Will and Apple had to get off the label. They had to start a whole new thing. And at that time, it was just Will and Apple because our brother Mook had left and pursued something else. And Will's like, yo, Tab, I want to start a new thing, but I want you to rock with us. So it's like, cool, let's go rock LA. And at that time I was working at Disneyland.
Okay.
And I said in the last podcast, but Disneyland was like my corporate gig to be able to facilitate my dream.
Right.
And so Will, myself, and Apple the App became a trio called the Black Eyed Peas.
Super dope. Like it's funny because you answered like 4 of my questions I was going to ask, which is great. But the thing that I loved when I first saw you guys, and what I noticed rather is you guys represent 3 different nationalities.
Yes, sir.
And something that's
it's not intentional.
I know that, but which is amazing because but it's rarely seen, especially in hip hop.
It's LA.
It's right.
It's LA.
So I wanted to touch on that because I know in certain in a little bit about LA culture as far as like how certain packs are in certain neighborhoods. Yeah. Somehow you guys were able to get together. So obviously hip hop was the tie that binded you guys. Was there any cultural, I guess, issue that came with that? Like, because you guys are Filipino, Native American, and Black.
Yep.
Like, that's something that's hasn't been seen in hip hop at all.
So the beautiful thing about LA is there's beautiful mosaics of nationalities represented as the backbone of Los Angeles. When Apple came from the Philippines, he met Will.i.am, who lived in a predominantly Mexican community. So he grew up with the Mexican culture intrinsic to his upbringing. He and Apple would go to Filipino backyard parties to dance and to battle. So we were part of the Filipino community. Myself, I was battling in Rosemead and San Gabriel Valley, which was a Mexican Asian community. Wow. So here's a native Mexican kid battling Asians and Mexicans, and then the Black community was in LA.
Right.
But then we would lean more to the Filipino community because Apple was his, was his peeps.
Right.
So when we became a crew, we started in the Filipino community as performers, as artists, and then it spread out. And we never saw like, oh, you're Filipino, you're Black, you're Native. It was like, no, we're hip hop.
Right.
This is what we do.
Now, was that received the same way in your respective communities? Would your crew see a Filipino and a Black dude with you and go, what the hell is going on? Or vice versa in Will's hood or whatever? Like, how was that received?
So at the time that we were coming up, there was a divide amongst nationalities and cultures.
Okay.
Blacks and Mexicans had beef because of the whole prison thing.
Yeah.
The Asians and Mexicans had beef. So there was like this separatism. But because of hip hop being the bridge and our conduit of hope and inspiration, we were able to overcome that.
Yeah. And
so, yes, there was like things like, oh, you're trying to act Black, Holmes, like gangsters in my neighborhood.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm doing hip hop and I'm an MC. But then there was like that, well, if you're going to be part of this crew, let's think global. Let's not think only LA.
Right.
Let's think, how can we go back to the Philippines and rock the Philippines? How can we go to Mexico?
Yeah.
How can we go to Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, all the places that may have things happening right now, but we love the world.
Yeah.
So our mentality was like, let's just rock for the world and be globetrotters.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, is how can we go around the world? And although LA's our hub and we'd love to be the representatives as Angelinos, our perspective is always, how can we go around the globe and bring that good medicine that is Black Eyed Peas?
What made it great was obviously the sound originated from the styles that you were inspired by, but the look made that goal official because you all represented. It was, with lack of a better analogy, it was like the United Colors of Benetton, where you were able to kind of like, you see like, as you can see, like this isn't your average looking hip hop group.
Behind the Front, first album.
Yeah, this is the very first record. And just the look itself is intriguing enough that if you didn't know anything about the group, you wanted to know more about the group.
Another thing that we based our formula on was our heroes, De-La and Tribe.
Mm-hmm. Who I was big fans of.
Same. So that essence of what is De-La doing? Oh, De-La got Vinia Mojica in And Saturdays, oh,
Right.
she's a different nationality. Oh, wow.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
So it was like this
Yeah.
beautiful montage of nationalities being represented.
Yes.
And the native tongues movement, native tongues.
Yes.
Think about
native
that.
tongues. That's
native
right.
tongues.
That's right.
So that whole idea was our philosophy too, is like, even though we're multicultural,
Yeah.
at the root, it's all about bringing nationalities to rock with us
I
as
get
Black Eyed Peas. Yeah.
I get it, because even those groups that you mentioned, they sparked a desire and a connection with even Black people.
Facts.
To want to know more about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw young brothers like myself.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I listened to X-Clan and Public
Grand
Enemy.
verbalizing what time
Yeah,
is
right,
it?
right,
Yep.
right. And that was my thing. And they actually made it cool to actually read a book.
Mm.
To study Malcolm X and Chesimard and Farrakhan and all these people that
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, and people that I learned from listening to Chuck and listening to KRS and those types of things.
Yeah.
But to go back to what I was about to say, me and my guys in Philadelphia, we all grew up in the hoods of Philly. A lot of people, because of our persona, think that we came from the suburbs because we wore bow ties and checkered shorts. But the truth is that we all came from the roughest parts of Philadelphia. I'm from Southwest Philadelphia. If anybody knows anything about that place, just look it up. Like, Wanye came from Richard Allen projects. Like, Nate came from the slums of South Philly. The person who had the closest to anything nice was Mike.
Yeah.
And he lived in an area called Logan, and even he lived in somewhat of a hood, but it was a nice one. Like he had a nice house, what I mean? With food in the fridge and stuff like that. But the point was, even when we got together, we didn't know anything about each other, but we brothers that listen to R&B music, but we also listen to the Carpenters.
Of course.
We also listen to Crosby,
Fleetwood
Stills
Mac.
and Nash and Fleetwood Mac and everything. So our minds, and then we went to a high school where we learned Bach, Brahms, and Vivaldi.
That's dope.
So it was one of those things where
That's
our
dope.
minds were already broad to the point where we were put in the category of R&B because of our color.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth was that we like everything. Like we didn't want to be known as that, and we pushed that. And again, it starts with the thought, as we were talking about earlier. We imagined ourselves as a global group, and that's what we became.
Yeah.
And that's important to know who you are and to pursue what it is that you're really trying to be. You get the most out of your life. Now, let me go back to the Eazy-E thing, because that's a big deal. Being signed, to Eazy-E. Do you have any stories, any anecdotes or anything about Eazy?
I don't, because Will and Apple and our brother Mook were the ones that were signed. I was just like kind of like a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Being part of the crew.
Yeah.
But not necessarily being in the P's. I mean, in a tribal nation or tribe beyond a nation.
Yeah.
Aban clan.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like learning and absorbing that my 16-year-old brothers had success at 16. They were able to like move in a space of like, yo, we signed an Eazy-E.
Right.
And as an LA kid, Eazy-E was the godfather of LA.
Tab, did you get a chance to meet him?
I never got to meet him, dude.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying I was a fly on the wall.
Right.
That was just a fly on the wall. Like,
well, it's
I want to party too. But, it was cool because I learned the mistakes that Will and Apple made during that time period, because they were kids. They were signed without parents' permission.
What were some of those mistakes they made? Do you know?
Signed without our parents' permission.
Yeah, that's
So
bad.
it was a non-binding agreement, essentially.
They got $10,000 for the deal.
Yeah. And then you signed the Eazy-E. It was binding.
Yeah. So that being said,
whether you like
by
it or
the
not.
streets. By the streets.
So, although there was a lot of 16-year-old kids, it was not a good deal. I'm glad that they got off of it, because they couldn't do a tribe beyond a nation. I keep saying tribal nation. That was a dance crew. A tribe beyond a nation, Aban clan. So that's why they got off of Ruthless, because they signed the deal without parent consent. So it was already a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So as soon as Eazy passed away, that's when Will was like, I got to start a new thing. So that's when the Black Eyed Peas was born. And this is
how
95.
did that name come about?
Black Eyed Peas, they was throwing names like at first the production company of Aban clan was Black Eyed Peas, not Eyed.
Oh, okay.
It was Black Eyed Peas Productions.
Right.
And it was Will and our bro DJ Motivate who produced that album.
Okay.
And so then it was just like something as simple as like, what about Blue Unit? Nah, that's whack. What about Surgeons? Nah, what does that mean? What about Black Eyed Peas? Black Eyed Peas. What does that mean? Oh, Black Eyed Peas, soul food. Wait, we feed the soul with our music. Soul food.
Ew.
Black Eyed Peas is good luck. We bring good luck to the music industry.
Yeah.
That's it. Black Eyed Peas. Yeah.
Not to mention, if you've ever eaten Black Eyed Peas, it's normally a mixture of stuff within the Black Eyed Peas. So like, again, they are just the look. You understand that they could be Black Eyed Peas because of what you incorporate in a Black Eyed Peas dish. You know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of things.
It's a mosaic.
It's a mosaic of flavors and styles and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So this album, your debut, Behind the Front, we first saw you in that ill video, Joints and Jams.
That's the joint.
Where they're stuck against some plexiglass and they're rapping and Taboo's hair is blowing in the
Rap
wind.
City.
And the whole, Rap City and the whole nine. But the illest part of that video was the end.
Ooh.
Where y'all kind of just went in.
Yes.
And this is the part that bugged me out. Because again, seeing y'all for the first time, I was like, yo, these mugs can dance.
Yes,
yo.
sir.
Like just like, again, knowing the history of hip hop.
Yeah.
Hip hop is not just rap. It's dance, it's graffiti, it's all of that.
The elements, yeah.
It's all those elements. And y'all had it in spades. Like y'all, where to the point where whether you East Coast or West Coast, everybody's like, yo, these dudes is fresh.
Yeah.
And you basically answered the question because I wanted to ask you who your inspiration, was behind the type of music. Because I did hear De La, I did hear Tribe, I did hear Poor Righteous Teachers. Yep. I heard all of those influences in your music.
But let's go deeper. Let's go Sergio Mendes, Bossa Nova 66.
How about that?
Let's go Sergi Benjor. All those samples falling up.
Yeah.
Georgie Benjor.
Yeah. Wow.
Sergio Mendes. We loved, like anything Brazilian style.
Yes.
Latin funk.
Yes.
Chick Corea.
Yep.
Spiral Gyra.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
Love Spiral Gyra. Yeah. That's crazy because you even see it with some of the artists now, like Tyler, the Creator.
Yes.
Who incorporates a lot of bossa nova and that type of that's fly, man.
He said Behind the Front was one of the first CDs that his aunt had given him, and he became a student of the production that Will had implemented and started being a student. Where does that sample come from? He starts Sergio Mendes and bossa nova style samples.
Yeah.
But shout out to Tyler, the Creator. I love everything he's doing, what he's contributing to hip hop.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on the dance element.
Yeah, please.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to clarify that before there's any records, any hit, Where's the Loves or I Got a Feelings, Black Eyed Peas was rooted in the dance community and still to this day.
You can tell.
I want to clarify because a lot of people are like, oh, I remember there was hip hop before that girl came in and yeah. There's that thing, which is dumb.
Yeah.
Because still to this day, we still are in the B-boy community at the freestyle sessions, showing our love to our B-boys and B-girls. We're still advocating for hip hop culture in the sense of like, we know our foundation.
Yeah.
We'll never leave our foundation. And the dance music that we create, although it's different now because we've had, elements of EDM and house and, a variety of gumbo and recipe to be able to create this new journey for us. We were inspired by, Girl, I'll House You.
Yep.
Girl, I'll House You. Jungle Brothers.
You in my hut now.
Facts. We were inspired by Chicago House.
Yeah. Boom, dum, boom, boom, dum, dum, dum. Listen.
Hot. So that element of housing and freestyle dancing and b-boying, breaking, tap, Gregory Hines to Sammy Davis to freaking Sandman from the Apollo.
Yep.
Shabadoo. It's what Black Eyed Peas in the essence of the Peas has always been. And that was our contribution to the world. It's like, besides our rhymes and our beats, check out our dancing.
Taboo, all someone has to do is Google it.
Facts.
All you have to do is Google it. Like, this isn't anything that you can't research yourself. And everybody understands real recognize real, first off.
Yes, sir.
Which is why you are heavily, implanted into the culture.
Yeah.
Because outside of your success, you did the groundwork.
Yes, sir.
So people know where it comes from. You weren't like some contrived made up group by some record executive or something like that. You guys did it yourselves, and you did the due diligence to make sure that whatever you guys did was authentic. So that's why I don't think, you're going to have haters everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
That's just a part of success.
Of course.
That's what happens.
Especially when you go like straight up.
Yeah, that's part of the success. Yeah. Trust me, I know.
I know you do. That's why we're able to have this compatible conversation, because you are from the same, we're aliens.
Yeah.
In what we've done and what we continue to do.
Yeah.
That's why I chose you guys
to
be part of my wedding.
Yeah.
Because you, I just wanted to like let you know, give you your flowers too.
Thank you.
Because you have seen the world in the same eyes and through the same lens that Black Eyed Peas has seen the world.
Exact.
So that's why I'm a fan of yours. I'm
likewise
honored to call you a brother.
Yes, sir.
But most of all, I'm just honored that we're able to tell those stories and those memories that we've created with our group and continue. But at the end of the day, we still are rooted in humility, vulnerability, and always being students of the game.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Which is why I believe that you and I and our groups and respectively are still blessed people. Like, not just from a career standpoint, but from people who I see in the industry to this day that still give love and real sincere daps and hugs.
Yes, sir.
Because that was important to me personally. Like, I never took this fame thing too seriously.
Same.
Like, I used it for what it was good for. And when you're on stage, you ham it up and all that other stuff. But again, it's the upbringing, your mother, your father,
grandma,
your grandma,
nanny.
Nanny, like, to be able to have those types of people around you to keep you grounded and to proverbially or literally slap you upside the head and let you know, yo, bro, you relax. Like, all of those things are important. And you get to see the world better.
Yeah.
When your head's low. When you're too high in the clouds, you can't see anything. And I mean that from a physical standpoint. When you're too high in the clouds.
Yes.
Literally too high in the clouds. Like, you don't see things correctly. You don't see the right things.
Yeah.
And when your head is low, like, you're able to kind of like really look at things from a standpoint that everybody sees it. And people know that and they connect with that.
Yeah.
And they can relate. So again, Google them.
Well, that's why.
That's all.
That's why.
Just Google them.
When I watch your other interviews, your cadence and your humility is something that I was really pulled into, because I stepped outside of being your fan and being your brother to being a first-time viewer of your show and your podcast and wanting to learn more about you as a host, as a visionary. Yes, this is a team effort, but at the end of the day, you're the face of this. And so when I watch your interviews and learn how you are able to connect on a human level with your guest, it made me proud to know you and to just be a part of this journey with you. Because now it's like, dude, I'm part of this podcast now.
Yeah. And
I've been part of the family with B for a while now because of the other podcast we did with Byron Scott. Shout out to B Scott, Kid J.
Yeah.
And when he said, yo, we got another one, I was like, Shawn, let's go.
Taboo, I'm humbled by this. Like, I wake up, and I lie to you not, I wake up doing interviews with my heroes. Like, people that's
dope.
I literally listened to or was inspired by. Like, that in itself. Like, I can't express how amazing this makes me feel. Because I'll sit across a Jimmy Jam or a Troy Taylor or somebody like that and be like, yo.
Yep. Geeking out. You start listening to the catalog.
I know these people.
Yeah, right?
Like, you know what I mean? Like honestly, like, so I get more out of this from just hearing you guys' stories. And it just solidifies my, I guess, position in life to know that I can give you a call and say, hey, bro, let's just have a conversation. And you say yes. You know how amazing that is? Like, so I can never be big-headed.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where I understand that this didn't have to happen. So to have these conversations is a blessing for me, not just the people that are watching or listening, but it's a blessing for me. I get my spirit filled up every episode because of that. I learned something. I look at things different. I see the person across from me different, like, because I get to know the human, like that, opposed to people seeing the star. I wanted people to know what I know about you.
Yes, sir.
Which is why I made this podcast the way that it is. People get asked the same questions in some cases, and it becomes a little mundane and almost predictable. You almost know, oh, hey, he's going to ask him this because this is what the hot topic is. I want to know what you were listening to at 10 years old. But I want to know what made you who you are.
Yes, sir.
Like, and what made you so great, because I was always told that if you want to know more about your heroes, learn about their heroes. And then the deep dive begins. And then you go down a rabbit hole, and now your mind is open and broadened into like, oh man, he was into this, that, and the third and all that other stuff. So this is good for me. Like this is good for me. So let's get back.
I think that's why this show, to add on what you're saying, Shawn, that's why this show I think is so important, because the difference between this show and I think everything else out there is that it's not an interview. It's a conversation.
No, it is it's a compatible conversation.
Right. And I think these episodes that Shawn's creating are going to be watched 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, long after we're gone and our kids are our age now, right? And so I think that's what's pretty cool, is that somebody's going to go back and watch this interview 25 years from now and going, damn, Black Eyed Peas was dope, or Boys to Men, they did this, or I didn't know Shawn and Taboo were so close. They're homies. Oh, that's cool.
Let's speak about how close we are. Like,
yes, sir.
He mentioned that I was blessed enough to be at your beautiful wedding, which was amazing.
Thank you, brother.
Kind of put that in perspective for the people.
Yeah, so I've been with my wife. Shout out to my wife, Jamie, as I mentioned earlier. Known her since 1999. We were young love before we had anything, and we just, the fact that she's always believed in me before any career, any music career.
Was she into music in any way?
She was, but I remember the first time we met at a club called Dublin's when we were kids. She was 20 in college, and I was 24.
Sunset?
Yeah.
Dublin's.
Yeah. Dublin's.
I remember
and
Dublin's.
I remember I saw her and we had a conversation after the club, and she's like, so, what do you do? I said, this is during this time, the behind the front, still living on mom's couch.
Right.
Didn't have success yet monetarily.
Right.
Yeah, we had a little video on Rap City, but I was like, yeah, I got a group. She's like, oh, you do? What's the name of your group? I said, I got a group called Black Eyed Peas. She's like, yeah, but do you have a real job? And I was like, I love this girl.
Right.
But do you have a real job? I said, right. Yeah, this is my job. She's like, oh, okay. So, she didn't know, which was a blessing, bro.
Right.
It was a blessing.
No, that's awesome.
Because she wasn't a groupie.
Right.
She didn't care Black Eyed Peas. She just knew Jimmy Gomez, which is dope.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't in the hype or about the hype.
Yeah.
And when I became successful in 2003, I hit her up because we had broken up. I hit her up and I was trying to get a lunch date with her because I always remember that time when she was like, but do you have a real job?
Right.
I was like, this is my real job.
Right.
And that little moment of not really caring about the success or whatever, fame of the group, it drove me to want to pursue her. So we got back together in 2004 and then we got married in 2008. And that's when my boy Joe, who was on the Justin Timberlake tour with us.
Shout out to the manager.
Big shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
Love that guy. To Joe. I remember saying, I forgot how the conversation started, but we started talking about my wedding. And why wouldn't you have these amazing brothers, Boys to Men, serenade your beautiful wife and you and your whole family? So the fact that happened, and it was just two of you, I forgot where Nate
it was. Me and Juan.
And this is before your residency too.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful because I feel like you guys brought your energy and your good medicine and the kind of like the nod to you're joining these two beautiful people together in a union of marriage, and we're gonna give you the blessing by bringing your beautiful voices and your song. And I chose On Bended Knee because that's how people, get on one knee. And
that's right.
Even though the song may speak to different topics or
Yeah.
perspectives.
Yeah.
In my mind, on bended knee was like, yeah, I want her back, but at the end of the day, I got on the knee to say I love you, and
It correlates.
it correlates.
Sure.
I could have done I'll make love to you, but
Right.
I didn't.
Right.
So on
Right.
bended knee work. To make a long story short, I feel like you guys serenading us was the beginning of a great friendship because you took time out of your busy schedules, took time to be there for me in my most precious moment with my wife and my family. And I'll always remember that.
Yeah.
Because you showed me so much love. And at that time, like, dude, I mean, we're fans, but at the end of the day, like to become brothers and friends, that was so valuable to me. So thank you, Wanye, for being there. Nate, love you too, brother. Mike.
Yeah.
And then after that, you guys took off on your residency, and it was just like you guys back in action.
Right.
Yeah, man. It was just beautiful to see.
It was a beautiful wedding too.
Thank you.
It was really nice.
Yeah, because we incorporated tinikling. My wife's Filipino, so she wanted the tinikling, and we had like different mariachis and all of this different cultural representation. We had a dope DJ rocking hip hop and R&B.
Right.
But to have Boys to Men at the center, serenading my wife and I, that was like the highlight.
It was our honor.
It was a highlight.
It was our honor. Thank you
brother.
for even thinking of us to be a part of such the most important day in your life.
And it's a flex. It's a flex for me, bro. No, Key, let's keep it a buck. And I'm like, yo, I got Boys to Men to sing at my wedding, bro. For me, it's like, yo, like, because my wife is everything to me, bro.
Yeah.
And if I can give her a piece of our childhood and what we grew up on and the love that we have for the group, that was what we took away. Is like, how can we continue being fans in the most beautiful day of our lives and joining together as one, and then having one of your favorite groups rock?
It was our pleasure.
Yeah.
It was our pleasure.
So my 50th birthday is coming up.
Okay. we'll talk that off the
50th
camera.
birthday's coming up.
Hey, regardless, I would love to be at the party because I know it's going to be lit.
Hey, but listen, Shawn, he can return the favor. You could just go, well, I need Black Eyed Peas at my
Facts.
I mean, you know, again, we can all have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because it would be really, really ill. But hey, listen, congratulations.
Thank
and
you,
shout out
brother.
to Jamie.
Thank you.
And, you know, it was a beautiful moment, and I appreciate you
Yeah, man.
allowing us to be a part of this. But okay, let's get back. All right, 2000.
This is 2005.
2005.
Yeah. Monkey
Okay.
Business. So we missed Elephant, which is 2003. That's Where's the Love? Let's Get It Started. Hey Mama. 2005 is Monkey Business.
Okay, and you incorporated this young lady.
Yes.
Her name is Fergie.
Stacey Ferguson, for those people that remember her from Kids Incorporated.
And
Wild Orchid. Wild Orchid.
Hey, she's an East LA girl too. She's like
No,
Hacienda Heights.
she's a Rolling Heights, Hacienda Heights
Rolling
area.
Heights, yeah.
Big shout out to Fergie, by the way, bro.
Big shout out to Ferg.
Ferg has always been a sister. She will continue being a sister, whether she's doing the solo thing or being a mom or being part of the group.
Yeah.
She's always family.
Now, whose idea was to put her in the group? Which was a great idea, by the way.
Okay, so a lot of people hated on the fact that our sister Kim Hill from our original makeup.
There was another young lady.
Shout out to Kim Hill as well. Beautiful black sister from Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
I know she's from New York. Kim, I hope I got that right. And she was part of the original live act.
Yeah.
Black Eyed Peas, Behind the Front, Bridging the Gap. She did songs like, you know, What It Is and, you know, Hot and all these songs that we wrote. Kim Hill was our matriarch of that era.
Awesome.
So
Shout
I have
out
so
to
much.
Kim Hill.
Yeah, Kim Hill. So without Kim Hill, we wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't have that part of our journey.
Yeah.
So I have to acknowledge all the matriarchs.
Well, absolutely.
After that, we had Macy Gray with Request Line. Shout out to Macy Gray. We had Estero on Weekends, which is Bridging the Gap. This is before Ferg. So I have to go down the timeline. We had Debbie Nova. She was part of the crew. And then we had Noelle Skaggs, who was on Let's Get It Started and a couple other records. And now she's part of Fitz and the Tantrum. She's a female singer. Fergie was part of Wild Orchid.
Right.
So
I remember Fergie from Wild Orchid.
Yeah. So she was Stacey.
Yeah.
She wasn't Fergie yet. She was Stacey. So we had been doing show like, you know, the Wango Tangos and all those like, you know, the pop shows.
Yeah.
And we met her through her being part of one of those shows. And I know she was going solo. She was doing her solo thing. So she asked Will to produce her. So Will was producing her at the same time that we were working on Elephant.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yo, we need a female singer. Why doesn't she sing on Shut Up?
Yeah.
Shut Up, just shut up, shut up. So we brought her on that song.
Yeah.
And then Where's Love? It was Justin Timberlake. It was in Fergie.
Right.
A lot of people confuse it with because he went falsetto. That's JT.
Right.
And then we had Hey Mama, and she just became part of the rotation as family member.
Mm-hmm.
We took her on the road, and it just worked.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy Iovine, he had something to do with it as well because you know, it's like, yo, put the girl in the group, it'll be great.
Yeah.
And so we all came together and we said, yes, let's go.
Yeah. And
although it came with a lot of shrapnel, which is all good because
in what way?
In the sense of like, yo, you got a white girl in the group.
Okay.
Y'all used to be hip hop. Now you pop.
Right,
y'all sold out. Da. All this stuff, right?
Yeah, they sold out. Shows.
Stadiums. So that being said, a lot of people didn't like it.
You're right. They did sell out.
Yeah.
Stadiums.
Facts. So a lot of people did not like it. It's okay. With the good comes with the bad. With the bad comes with the good, right?
Sure.
All that stuff, whatever. Quid pro quo. So we said to ourselves, F it. Let's go and let's just globetrot.
Yeah.
Dominate.
Yeah.
And so
And that you did. Holy cow.
Bro.
Like, y'all went on a tear. Y'all like the Black Eyed Peas was nuclear. Like, when y'all...
Chernobyl.
Oh, my God. Like, there was no place. It could be a game, a football game, a basketball game, a soccer game, a mall, a wedding, a
bar mitzvah.
You were hearing a Black Eyed Peas record.
Yeah.
And you can't say that they weren't dope either. These weren't songs that would like whack. Like these, like they were dope songs. Like it's a difference between songs that go viral or blow up for whatever the reason and they catch a wave and you never hear from them again. Here's the difference, folks, between a viral moment and a real moment. Because if you want to say that their songs went viral, okay, fine. They went viral at least 20 times. So you can't write them off as anything but successful hit makers. Those weren't mistakes. They understood exactly what they were doing. They found their niche and they dominated. I don't care what you say about Black Eyed Peas, if you like them or not. The facts is proof in the pudding. They dominated the globe and you saw them everywhere. And I was in on it. Because as a matter of fact, I got to see you guys' show.
The End Tour?
Yes.
What was that at?
I think it was Staples Center.
Staples, yes.
I think it was Staples Center.
Staples.
I don't, but I remember the part where Will would freestyle off the screen what people was texting him at the time. The cool thing about you guys were the look correlated with you guys' just knowing or being savvy with technology.
Yes, sir. Will.i.am all day.
Yeah, your stage show was futuristic. Y'all were doing things that people are doing now.
Yes, sir.
That are just people are just catching on to. So I was impressed by that. I was like, yo, like as a performer, I'm not just enjoying the show. I just can't. Like, you know what I mean? I'm watching production. I'm watching the band. I'm watching you guys. I'm watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, yo, this shit is next level. I don't think people understand what they're looking at. And the fact that, again, I guess you guys had it set up where phones were connected to the stage.
Just to interject, Will's one of the dopest, if not, and I'm not being biased, one of the dopest freestyle MCs on the planet, bro.
It was sick to see that.
And that's because he's a battle MC. Before he became Will.i.am the producer and Will.i.am the hit maker, he was a backpack battle rapper from East LA.
Well, you could tell.
And his whole idea was like, I need to freestyle every minute because I need to keep my brain sharp. So to this day, he's still that killer that is locked in this body of work that is very like popular.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's rooted as a killer.
Don't let the glasses fool you.
Facts.
They'll murk you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because it's one of those things like I saw it on stage. Like this dude is freestyling.
Yeah.
Whatever pops up on the screen.
Yep.
And I was, and he was doing it for like a good 7 minutes.
And
I'm sitting there like, yo.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the show. Because again, being a hip hop fan, I love seeing that because that was true art. And again, a lot of people, those same people that you're talking about, they say, oh, you guys went pop. If you saw that, you will understand that came from a grassroots mentality.
Yep.
It's nothing pop about that.
Exactly.
Like half of the people that are considered hardcore, gutter, the whole thing, couldn't even do half of what Will did. So y'all got to understand these terminologies are based off of perception, guys. Like you're not really understanding what you're saying when you say something went pop or something is manufactured or whatever. All you got to do is do the research. That's all you got to do. There's nothing pop about the Black Eyed Peas. Nothing. Maybe their look, maybe their outlook as far as wanting to become popular, because that's what pop is short for.
Yeah, facts.
You know
I think that's a U.S. perspective, because around the world, you're going to have, you go to Germany and you're going to have a Gwen Stefani, a 50 Cent, a Eminem, a Black Eyed Peas, all on the same radio station.
Yeah.
There is no correlation between pop, underground. It's all one sound, right? Like, especially when you're Western coming to a different country. And the beauty of Black Eyed Peas is we're able to tour in spaces where U.S. acts weren't going to.
Yeah.
Let alone hip-hop acts.
Amen.
Kazakhstan.
Amen.
The Philippines, the Brazils, not just doing Sao Paulo and Rio, actually doing like Curitiba and all these obscure places.
You don't even know where Curitiba is.
Facts.
I don't.
Spell it.
Right? Spell Curitiba. C-U-R Chiba.
Chiba.
So that being said, that idea of like, yo, let's just go rock the world and not care about what the U.S., because the U.S. was always last for us.
I find it interesting that, and I hate to say it, but a lot of times that those statements come from, Black people. I'm gonna be very honest. Like we're always quick to tell each other, yo, you don't represent the culture. I had a very famous producer tell me that about my group.
Wow.
That I'll tell you off camera. that
wow.
Yeah, you guys, y'all were cool at first, but y'all don't really represent the culture. Like,
wow.
In what way, sir? like, what do you mean?
Yep.
Like, you can't get no blacker than this. Like, I'm trying to figure out, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I think my people get afraid when a artist or a certain group reaches a certain level. It becomes, they had to do something to get this success. That's why you see in YouTube and all these other things like this whole Illuminati bullshit where I saw something about me and my group that we had to blood sacrifice something for us to reach success. No.
So that's not true.
No, it's not true. We actually worked for it.
Yeah.
How about that?
Work ethic.
But what I was getting at was when you're in the business of commercial art, because we're in the business of commercial art. That's a very important word to that statement, that phrase, commercial.
Yeah.
The idea is to want to bring your music to the world. Everybody.
Yeah.
Not just Black people, not just white people, not just Mexican people, but everybody.
Yeah.
We're in that business. So who wouldn't want to have a record that spans the globe? That's the point.
Facts.
Which means that you've connected in ways that is rare. That's a rare thing to do. For artists to do what you guys have done is a very rare thing. And with most things that are rare, people tend to look at it funny or think that something's wrong with it. Oh, something had to happen for them to reach that level of success. There's no way they could actually have worked for it and actually had good songs. There's no way. Like, something had to occur. No, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes, because what people don't understand is music, it works on a different frequency than anything else. And when you put out certain frequencies come back. So when you reach that frequency, and some people can't do it, you guys were able to do it multiple times. So in so many words, and I put in layman's terms, they connected. Period. They created music that connected with the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they did anything unscrupulous or heinous or anything like that to create the success. Music is spiritual. You know why you know it's spiritual? Is because of what you see right now. When you see people wilding out and doing certain things on social media and stuff like that, there's always some song in the background that's providing the soundtrack that matches that energy.
Yeah.
So again, music is spiritual. And whatever spirit that frequency is conveying is what you see in the person that's
So I got a question, because I think the energy is a good segue into this real quick.
Beautiful.
Did you guys intentionally write these anthems? When I think of you guys, and I think I've told you this before, is Queen, right, has so many sports anthems. You guys had a nice run with the NBA for a while with some of your songs and sports in general. When you guys are sitting down and writing a new project, thinking of a new project, are you guys writing these songs to become an anthem, or it unintentionally just happens?
So, like you guys, me, Will, and Apple are best friends.
Mm-hmm.
We've been friends since we were 16. Like you guys, we're still connected in 2025. After this, I'm going to Phoenix with Will and Apple to perform. To your question, because we're brothers, we just make music that makes us happy. If we're happy in the studio, jumping around.
How about that?
Singing, let's get it started. Or pump it louder, pump it. And we're jumping around in the studio and we're happy. So be it.
People forget, Tab, that you're human too.
Facts.
And you're a human making this music.
Yeah.
So you have to feel it first before anybody else does.
So if we're jumping up and down, like laughing and having a good time writing it, we feel like let's just bring that good medicine and that energy that we felt to the world.
It's not an accident.
It's not an accident. And because our brotherhood is so tight, and that's what BEP is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we've had female cousins and sisters that have come across and will continue being part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Eyed Peas is me, Will, and Apple to the day we die.
Yeah.
That's how we started, and that's how we will continue. And I can't wait for the day to rock with Macy Gray. I can't wait to the day to rock with Kim Hill. I can't wait for the day to rock with Fergie again, because that's family.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we make songs that make us happy. And if they're anthems for sports or bar mitzvahs or weddings or just at a workout, so be it.
Yeah. Again, we, as artists, it has to feel good to us first.
Facts.
If it feels good to us, we then hope that it feels good to everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Now, based off of that, you've done some solo projects yourself.
Yeah.
And you kept it on that same vein. Was that purposeful? Like, I mean, you pretty much answered the question. Like, that seems to be just your premise as far as how you create.
Yeah. So speaking about, I don't even like to call them solo. I just like to call them like testimonies of me as an individual. So when I battled cancer in 2014.
Yes, I wanted to get on that.
So I really tapped into the holistic healing after the chemo. I did chemotherapy for 12 weeks, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Which was like a nightmare, war, and torture inside my body, because you got to kill everything that's good in your body to kill that one tumor that's bad.
Right.
So I feel like I'm a cat with 9 lives, bro. I had a kid at 17, single parent. Then I had the sobriety issue. I became sober in 2007, overcame addiction.
Yeah.
And then I got hit with cancer. And then everything changed it's all about me as an artist. Then I was like, how can we as people be lights and pillars to our communities?
Yeah.
And so that's when I went to Standing Rock. And Standing Rock was water protectors, young water protectors, protecting sacred land in North Dakota for the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, tribal community from North Dakota. And it was all these different indigenous people and allies and folks from all around the world that stood in solidarity to protect that water and that land from a pipeline being built that would have contaminated the Missouri River.
Yes.
And so when I went there, I found healing. And that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I found reconnection with my tribal roots and my ancestry that my grandmother had already, kind of guided me. but I had lost it because I was all about my career. I was all about me as an individual, trying to make records when in actuality, I wanted to make things with purpose.
Yeah.
And so that's when I did the Standing Rock song called Stand Up, Stand and Rock, No Dapple. And that was when I brought 7 tribal and native artists to rock on this record with me. And I was like, yo, I'm going to do what like RZA did with the Wu-Tang, but I'm going to do that with indigenous artists.
Right.
And I'll be the elder statesman that brings everybody together.
Yeah.
But is championing the movement and advocating for indigenous communities around US and Canada. In turn, wanting to advocate for indigenous communities around the world because there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
So after that, I did The Fight, which was the song After I Battled Cancer. That was partnered up with the American Cancer Society, kind of like advocating for prevention in the fight against cancer. Then after that, I did this song called One World that brought over 50 tribal members together for the first time on the Pachanga Res to create a song that unified indigenous communities.
Beautiful. And
now, because I was affected by the fires, I live in Pasadena.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I live in Pasadena. Altadena was really where I brought up my kids.
Yeah.
I'm doing a campaign of, not even a campaign, it's a testimonial that I call Dina Strong. Basically, my daughter and I led the dance on creating a song, a healing song.
Yeah.
Because she had been asking all these questions when we evacuated the house and we had to leave our house. And when we looked back, we saw all the flames like on the hillside coming towards our house.
It was scary.
We made an amends and we said, you know what? If our house is not there in the morning, we'll figure it out. So that time of being evacuated, she started asking all these questions as an 8-year-old. When can I go back home? Dad, I miss my toys. I miss my room. As a father, I felt so vulnerable and I felt I didn't have the answers. And I felt like inadequate because I just didn't know what was going to happen. The uncertainty. They were talking about the National Guard was there stopping people from going to their homes because the contamination of the water, the ash, the soot. So after our house had been cleared, but then again tested for asbestos from the houses that burned, we kept coming back positive. So we didn't get to move back to our home until February 6th.
Wow.
But we had to take everything from our house internally. We had to throw it away. Fabrics, couches, mattresses, beds. So we had to start all over.
Yeah.
Although structurally we were okay.
Yeah.
Internally we suffered a lot of damage, as a lot of our relatives and residents that went through it. I'm getting choked up thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we created this song called Dina Strong, and
take your time, man.
And my daughter was the one that kind of she was asking all these questions.
Yeah.
And her innocence and her scared paranoia, trauma triggers, it affected me. And that's why I'm getting emotional, dude. And I had, ladies and gentlemen, please excuse my pause. I'm just thinking, I'm reliving the moments.
Don't apologize for that.
I'm reliving these moments, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody
for the people that were in Malibu, the people that were in Palisades, our residents in Altadena and Pasadena, this is something that's still going on to this day. And I think this platform and you giving me an opportunity to speak on this is important. Because to this day, ladies and gentlemen, we're still having 800 trash trucks taking waste from these homes that were built, the debris, the asbestos, the toxins from batteries, from Teslas and all these cars that were burned. And they're dumping in this landfill close to our home, and all of this stuff is spilling out, and it's just permeating the air. The quality of air is so bad that I'm thinking as a cancer survivor, I'm getting triggered.
Right.
As a husband, as a father, I'm getting triggered.
100%.
So this song that we created, Dina Strong, was something for us to contribute in a way to, like, not as an artist, as a father, doing this with my daughter, Jet, and her speaking from an 8-year-old perspective and wanting to advocate for the 8-year-olds and the kids that may not have a voice. And as adults, as I was telling B, a lot of times we're caught up in the adult stuff, the insurance, the state farms, the asbestos, the rebuild.
Yeah.
But then our kids are suffering from the traumas and the triggers and the uncertainties and the fears and the paranoia that sinks in, and I want to give the kids a voice, and that's why we created this song. So this is testimonial with a purpose, like Standing Rock, and I think that's where I'm at in 2025. Is I have a heavy lift, and I'm going to do everything in my powers to get answers, ask a lot of questions, see how we can have some form of resolve. And I know it's going to take years. I know it's going to take billions of dollars to rebuild Altadena and Pasadena. That's my city. Yeah. But I'm in this fight for the long haul. Yeah. Along with Black Eyed Peas, this is my calling. This is my higher purpose, and I'm about it, bro. I'm in the front lines with this.
You can find this song on all DSPs, right?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I'm bringing to you first as far as conversation, and putting it out there that I'm actually doing. I created the song. Okay. I will share it with you. I shared it with B. Yeah. I made a testimonial video of some of the people that lost their homes to give them a platform as well. Yeah. But really advocate for Pasadena and Altadena because we're still going through it.
Beautiful, yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, the fires, they're done. No. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not done. Yeah.
The flames may be done.
The
flames are gone.
Yeah. The flames are gone. But the aftermath is still there.
Yeah. The damage is still
there. The damage is still happening on a daily basis, and we don't have any answers. Yeah. So I didn't want to, what I don't want to do, this is not a pity party. This is like me speaking from the heart.
Yeah. On behalf of people that can't speak for themselves.
Correct. And being a person that appreciates this platform to speak on that, but also I know this is about music, and that's why I think the song Dina Strong is part of that journey. Of course. But it's not the journey. Yeah. There's a bigger lift, heavier lift, but I'm feeling very confident that with the due diligence and the learning and the educating myself, I'm doing the right things to be able to bring First Nations people like the Tongva, Toctavian, the Gabrielinos, and the First Nations people of Altadena to be able to find ways that we can use their wisdom and utilize the wisdom, utilize the wisdom and the ancestry learnings of the people of the stewards of the land, so that we can incorporate controlled fire educating, so that we can have prevention and use technology and modern strategy to be able to collaborate with the First Nations people.
We'll make sure that once the song is released, on that note, we'll have links on our bio, and I'll even discuss it on future episodes to let everybody know.
We got to get you on the hook, Shawn.
That that would be dope.
I mean, if the song's not done, I mean,
no, it's done. The song is done in the sense of the thought.
Okay.
There's always room for it to grow.
Come on, man. It's done. There you go.
There's always room for it.
It's a wrap.
There it is. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's as simple as you know. The beauty about the music business now is that you don't necessarily have to be in a huge studio.
No.
I got a nice little setup with a laptop and 2 speakers where I can mix, master, do soundtracks, the whole 9 yards in my office. Yeah. So just send me the files, bro.
There it is.
I'll knock it out. It's no problem.
So so the idea of artistry with a purpose is something that I'm embodying, because Where's the Love was a song with a purpose because of the 9/11 situation. And all the music that we've done after that has been very celebratory, but it's been with the purpose to uplift the spirits of people, right? And make sure that everybody's feeling good. And I think with the music that I'm making outside of the mothership, it speaks to where I'm at in life as a 50-year-old man.
It's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed. And being that we're both 50-year-old men, that I think,
50, yeah. It's all good. No. I embrace it because I'm proud, bro. I don't look 50.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I do, but
no, the
gray hair tends to show.
Your vibe is not 50. Your perspective is not 50.
I mean,
it's 50. I see a lot of my schoolmates, and I'm not trying to hate on my schoolmates, and I'm like, yo, you're 50, bro.
Right.
You're not taking care of yourself.
Right. It's true.
And the thing is, this is our temple, and I'm not trying to preach. I just want to.
This is good.
Convey.
This is good
messaging to men and women.
Yeah.
Let's take care of ourselves. Let's be mindful that we only have one life. Our temples are everything for us. So for me, I want to be able to do better.
Yeah.
Each day.
Yeah.
Each day do better and be a better version of myself. And that's why I embrace the 50. Let's go, bro.
Yeah. I feel good. It's a good feeling. Because I'm blended with, I'm not that old to the point where I can't move.
Yeah.
but I'm wise enough.
Yeah, I love that.
I have a better understanding of life now, and still have the energy and the vitality to still go out and do what I want to do.
And you're still a student of the game.
I'm always be a student.
Yeah,
forever
exactly.
a student.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how old I get. I'm still trying to figure out what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of that, right? The holistic and you from your garb, your wardrobe and your jewelry, like it comes off very holistic and healing.
Yeah.
Like I love this type of stuff.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm wearing shout out to Temple of Soul in Philadelphia. I'm wearing like copper with like a
That's
titanium
dope.
amethyst. I wear this as protection, and also we'll get into another conversation. But I love
my piece,
your pieces.
Beadwork by Michaela. You can check her out on Instagram. She's a dope indigenous relative that I hit her up on. I think we came across one of the native functions, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna hit you up about making a piece for me."
Yeah.
So I hit her up, and she's like, "Dude, I got you. Don't worry about it." So once we went into the design idea, I said, "I want to do something like this with the circles and the medallion with the turquoise because it represents friendship."
So that's turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise beadwork.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So that's why, hence the turquoise here. My grandmother always wore like a little jewelry, some piece to represent. And I always advocate for indigenous jewelry,
I do too.
bead makers and folks that are from tribal communities that make some really dope stuff and bring it to the masses and be like, "Yo, check this out. This is my story.
Yeah.
The bear claw represents my family. It's me protecting my cubs. I even have it tattooed right here. The bear
beautiful.
Cub. And so that idea of like wanting to present and preserve culture.
Yeah.
Something as simple as how you rock your gear and how you represent your pieces.
Yeah.
Is a nod to my ancestry.
That's beautiful. I think I want something like that.
Yeah.
Like what's the
Michaela.
Michaela?
Beadwork by Michaela.
Beadwork by Michaela.
Yeah.
And you can find her on
Instagram,
IG. Guys.
Beadwork by Michaela. BEAD work by Michaela.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look her up too. And now I didn't know this, but you're a comic book writer?
Dude. I'm a nerd.
Okay, well, first off,
I'm a nerd.
Okay.
Nerds unite right now.
Here we go.
Yep.
Your top 5 superheroes. Give them to me.
I'm going to go Red Wolf, Marvel, first native hero.
Yep.
I'm going to go Apache Chief, even though it's DC.
Apache Chief, yep.
From
the one that grew,
yep.
giant, yep.
Yep. And the reason why is it's cultural.
Yeah,
I'm biased.
Listen, I'll tell you my top 5 and people are going to swear I'm biased.
I'm being biased, bro, because we didn't have, although it was very stereotypical and very like, you woohoo native,
whatever.
That was what it was.
It's what you connect with. That's the point of making superheroes.
So
it's the
someone who wasn't an animated superhero but was a hero was Billy Jack. Remember the Charles Bronson era?
Okay.
Billy Jack Tom Lofton. He was a native dude.
Okay.
He was like a martial arts dude.
Got you.
He was a hero.
Okay.
I also love like Lucha Libre, like Mil Máscaras. That was a hero, right? It wasn't a comic book hero, but it was a hero.
Yeah.
And then I got to go sports, bro. Because you said hero. Or did you say superhero?
Well, I said superhero, but heroes is cool too.
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Big shout out to Reggie Saunders.
Yeah, Reggie Saunders.
Big shout out to Reggie, my guy, Reggie Saunders.
Why does everybody know Reggie?
Yeah, because Reggie knows everybody.
Bro, Reggie was at the wedding, bro.
Yeah,
like
was.
Reggie Saunders has been my brother for many years. And every time I talk about Michael Jordan, I always got to acknowledge my brother Reggie because he's come so far with the Jordan brand.
Yeah.
I'm proud of all the stuff that he's been working on and just seeing his evolution. So shout out to my brother Reggie. Love you, bro. And thank you for being a hero too.
You just did something when Luca came, right?
Yeah, we did the La Familia. Yeah.
That was dope.
That was dope.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna just say this without saying too much on record. I need you guys' shoe size. And I'm gonna just say that.
Ooh, Reggie. Love it.
Ooh, wee.
I'm a sample size.
Well, Shawn, you know I'm gonna need 2 pairs.
I'm
One
a
rock, one dead style.
Listen, I just need y'all. Crazy.
Yo, Reg.
Crazy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to just say shout out to Jordan.
Yes.
Shout out to Reggie Sanders. Yeah. Ooh, wee.
Yeah.
Anyway, so So
I mean, speaking about that, like basketball has been such a go-to thing besides hip hop. I'm a sports fanatic.
Okay.
And heroes.
Yeah.
Storytellers. That's what made Michael so amazing because he had a story with everything.
Yeah.
If I could, sometimes I dream that he is me,
right.
like Mike. I thought I could fly like Mike.
Right.
Air Jordan.
Right. That's right.
Mars Blackman.
He was our superhero.
Facts. So there was so
100%.
much storytelling behind the Jordan brand at the time that we came up. Magic too, but it was different. It was a different approach because he was Converse.
Correct.
Shout out to Converse too, but Jordan.
Right.
Jordan, Converse is together with Nike anyway.
Right.
Jordan was a hero that I looked up to growing up. Like, yo, man, if I apply that same killer mentality and that competitive nature on the dance floor as a b-boy and take out my frustrations and my anger, hence the name Jim Lewis Angryfoot, I want to be like Mike, but transfer that same energy.
Right.
He's on the court, I'm on the dance floor.
He just represented greatness.
Facts.
That's all it was. Like he was the example of if you're going to be great at anything, be like Mike.
Yeah.
I think that was the whole term.
Yeah. Be like
and that's
Mike.
what it meant.
Yeah.
If I could be like Mike, basically saying if I could be the greatest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, you're a comic book writer.
Yeah.
So what is your
So this is a Delhi neighborhood Spider-Man. And speaking about Pasadena, big shout out to B. Earl who co-wrote this with me. I brought Peter Parker to Pasadena.
That's dope.
So it's not New York Peter Parker.
He took a flight.
It's LA Peter Parker.
Or rather he swung.
No, he stayed. He stayed in Pasadena.
Oh, okay, got you.
I wanted him to represent my neighborhood.
I see.
My area.
I see. So he's the Pasadena.
He's the Pasadena version. Even though it's Peter Parker from NY, he meets Crystal Katani, who's an indigenous woman who becomes the Dream Spider.
Dig.
I wanted to every comic book that we've done, I've done like 4 or 5, always has a native or indigenous hero that is implemented within the IP that already exists at Marvel.
Yeah, that's
because I want to be that conduit to be able to bring in Apache consultants to tell that story.
Yeah.
Bring in, Navajo or Dene to tell that story.
Yeah.
Because I always want to be able to empower our communities and our storytellers that are indigenous.
Yeah, and Spider-Man is perfect because I saw an interview of Stan Lee, and he was talking about how the reason why Spider-Man wears a mask is because Spider-Man could be anybody.
Anyone, yep.
Like he didn't want it to be just a white guy or a black guy or whatever. Like he could be anything. He could be male, he could be female. Like Spider-Man represented people, which is why he was
Spider-Man's the OG Jabberwocky.
He is the OG
OG
Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky, yep.
He is an OG Jabberwocky.
They're still rocking to this day.
They're still rocking to this day. And you would never know that they're interchangeable.
Facts.
But it's because it doesn't matter because it's what they do. It's just like Spider-Man serviced the people in a way and in a style like the Jabberwockies that when you see him, you know him.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about Spider-Man. Yeah. Like he could be in Pasadena or New York or Philly or Europe or anything like that.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring him to a story that is very personal because it is my neighborhood. Yeah. I am at the Rose Bowl. I am at City Hall. That's where we took our pictures before we actually went to do the ceremony for our wedding.
Yeah.
So all those milestones of my history, I wanted to implement that into the comic book. And I'm a big toy guy too, man. I've been collecting toys since that are from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, whether we're talking about Voltron, we're talking about G.I. Joe, LJN wrestlers from the 80s when it was WWF, not WWE.
Right.
We're talking about, Robotech. Transformers. I don't know if I said that already. He-Man, Master of the Universe.
He-Man, yeah.
So I'm a kid at heart because I still remember what I felt when I couldn't buy those toys.
That's super dope.
And so I'm reliving those memories by being able to now purchase those toys, but being a collector of the childhood and preserving my childhood.
I asked you who your favorite superheroes were, right? And if you go in my office, right, like I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm black. So I have Lando Calrissian.
Dope.
A tall Lando about this big. Next to him is Mace Windu. I got T'Challa. I was trying to get Storm made to represent, the lady. A lot of people sleep on Storm. She was a literal god in Marvel. So it's like, and African.
That's dope.
Blue Marvel. Like a lot of people don't know who Blue Marvel is. Look him up. Probably one of the most powerful Marvel characters that Stan Lee ever created.
Oof.
So it's like, so those are mine because again, representation is key.
Facts.
And when you see, guys like that doing the amazing things that they do, you feel like, man, I could do that too. So, that's sick.
Angry Foot. That's my next character.
Oh, that's sick.
My IP that I own. Look familiar?
That's sick. Yeah. Very. Ooh, he got the axe.
The turquoise axe.
Wielder. Oh, that's sick.
How T'Challa's vibranium?
Right.
His is turquoise. That's his
wow.
killer stone. Yeah. That's the power.
So what are his powers?
Powers is he's able to transport from different time periods because he's a man out of time. But he's a cyborg as well. And his turquoise is one of the most powerful stones.
I see that down his back.
Yeah. Cyborg.
That's sick. Ooh, he looks ill.
Yeah, bro.
Ill. Oh, I can't wait for it. When is this coming out?
So right now, I just created a pitch deck with my boy David Vonner. Shout out to David Vonner.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to, it's like Hollywood, trying to pitch ideas.
Yeah, sure.
But it's okay. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting myself into.
100.
I like heavy lifting. I'm a power lifter.
Yeah.
Black Eyed Peas was a big lift, and we did it. Yeah. So nothing is out of reach.
Yeah.
I'm a cancer survivor. I beat cancer, so nothing is beatable and unbeatable.
Amen. Praise God.
Facts. So I very humbly, I approach everything that I do as I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It may take time.
Yeah.
But there's a space for me because I feel like there's not a lot of indigenous voices from the music space that are doing the storytelling that I want to bring to the masses. Very authentic and genuine, of course.
Walt Disney got rejected over 1,000 times before he created what we now know as Disney.
Yep.
1,000. Keep going, folks.
Yep.
That's the moral of this whole story. Like, a lot of people may not get it at first, but it's okay. If you believe in it and if you visualize and if you see it for what it's going to be, then that's good enough. Keep going. It'll eventually come to fruition.
I love that because I'm a dad.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to learn, listen, because a lot of times we're talking to them, but learning how to listen and really be mindful that they have feelings and they have personalities and they have visions and dreams and aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it may seem out of reach because my mom told me the same thing. Like, oh, you want to be a musician? You need to get a job. I'm like, no, Mom, I'm going to be famous one day. That was me as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to be famous, Mom. I'm going to be on stage. But I manifested that.
Yeah.
So now because I did that, I look at my kids and every kid as the seed and how you can inspire them to grow and continue championing them no matter how big the dream is. Yeah. I just want to be able to be an example of like, yeah, I've had a lot of misfalls and stepped on a lot of landmines, but at the end of the day, I'm still learning about life and educating myself and wanting to be, again, a student of everything that I put my mind to. That's why I studied your podcast. Because I want to see your cadences, how you interact with your guest, the things that you ask, when you play the acoustic, how your fingers are strumming the guitar. Because I want to know every little thing about you as a person.
Yeah.
Because that is the best way to be a student of you.
Life and death is held in the power of the tongue. So speak life. You can do it. Like, again, I want to be corny as hell now because this world needs more corny because there's enough of the opposite. Everybody's trying to be the coolest or the most controversial when really what you're speaking spiritually and otherwise is deathly things. So do the opposite. Be corny. It's cool. Speak life. That's all I got to say.
In the words of a very famous man, Rob Schneider, you can do it!
You can do it! All right. With all the craziness that was going on with the fires, did that deter you and you guys, the Black Eyed Peas' residency?
Yes.
In any way?
100%, brother. Like, I was not in a mental space creatively, literally, because I was evacuated, displaced, all that, living in a hotel, 5 people, 2 dogs, and I wasn't about to leave my wife and my kids, bro.
Of course.
Like, we didn't know if our home was going to be right at all.
Of course.
So, fortunately, my brother Will and Apple and my team were like, yo, we got to stand in solidarity with our brother Tab. And we can always revisit that. You know, it's postponed for now, but I know that in the future, we'll do it right. We'll do it again. But for that time period when the Vegas residency was gonna happen, I was not able to function, bro.
Yeah, it's hard to focus
Oh,
when
dude,
your house isn't right.
The house isn't right. My wife wasn't right. My daughter was going through her stuff, and it was just like, I'm not gonna fake the funk.
Yeah.
And be on stage like, yeah, everything is all good. I'm over here singing. Yeah. Nah, bro. Let's keep it a buck. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a human being and you have your priority as a family member, as the lead of my family, and as a father, as a husband, you best believe that my priority is them before any career, before any residency. And I know the fans were disappointed, but we'll come to a country near you, as you said.
Yeah.
We'll come to a city near you. And I know eventually we will have that residency and do it right.
Life happens.
Yep.
And this is what a lot of people understand. A lot of people don't know, or if you've ever seen any of our shows as of late, we don't sing mama. And the reason why we don't sing mama is because it's really hard for Nate.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his mother.
Yeah.
So every time we even mention it, like he gets emotional. He can't sing the song. He tried it and one time and it was just too hard for him. And I'm not saying he'll never sing it again, but for this period, you won't hear it because our brother is still grieving. So if people are walking around saying, oh, why don't you sing mama and all this other stuff and are mad, we apologize. Okay. And we're not meaning to take this as a slight or just a negligence or anything like that, but there are real things that happen to us too.
Facts.
So we have to handle it the only way we know how to handle it sometimes. So if you don't hear mama, that's why. It's because it's just hard for some of us to actually sing it and to be able to get through it. Yeah, so I say that to say I understand. Yeah. You can, sometimes life is bigger than the stage, and you can't always play out what people want you to do. Sometimes you got to take a moment for yourself. That's why you see so many tragic things happen to artists, because they've been pushed to a limit where they couldn't live out their truths and live out their own lives and figure things out themselves. Yeah. So I can understand it, and I know for a fact your fans understand that. So it's all good.
And in the fact that our brothers were able to empathize as you were empathizing for Nate.
Exactly.
Like that is a testament to our brotherhood. And, you know, they're like, yo, it's all good. Like, we got to be there for you, bro. Like, you're not in a good place. Your family's displaced.
Right.
So let's just, let's continue the fight in the summer. Continue doing what we do in the summer. That's why we're leaving today to go do the shows. And, I feel like the residency, it was an opportunity. It was a moment, but it created momentum to come back to it and do it better next time.
All right. Last question. What's your favorite restaurant?
Restaurant?
Yeah. This is getting somewhere. There's like, what's your favorite restaurant?
All right. So I'm a Japanese fanatic.
I love Asian food.
Japanese fanatic, bro. I love Japan. Japan's my favorite country to perform in.
Mine too.
To shop in, to be in.
It's a fly place.
Oh, bro. Tokyo.
It's fly. Japan's fly.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been to Tokyo, if you get a chance, I took my wife and my kids there just for vacation. We went to Tokyo and we went to Kyoto.
Yeah.
So my favorite my favorite restaurant in my whole entire life was the ninja restaurant we went to, because we learned about it was dope. We learned about the ninja ancestry of the culture of being a ninja.
How about
and
that?
And they brought food that was like from the time period, and it was like a history lesson.
That's crazy.
It's called the Ninja Restaurant in Tokyo, Japan.
Okay, cool. So you're by yourself though in the ninja restaurant.
Yep.
Right? You're about to sit down and have a meal. In walks in the younger version of Taboo. He was looking for you.
Yep.
Right? Sits down next to you. He wants to know what the future is like. So what would you tell your younger self? What would your older self tell the younger Jimmy? What advice would you give him?
Great question, bro. First off, I would say put a condom on. Put a condom on. You little young buck. I mean, I got love for my son, Josh, bro.
Right.
Damn, it was hard being a young parent, bro. I am not in any way, ladies and gentlemen, shaming teen pregnancy, but I'm not advocating for it either.
I think people get what you're saying.
It was. I mean, Jimmy, please strap up. Please wear a condom. Do not be foolish and have a kid at 16 years old, at 17 years old. You got a life ahead of you that you can really maximize on.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't go back in time.
Right.
But that's something that I would say.
Okay.
The next thing I would say is like, make sure you are on top of your physical. Listen to your body. Learn about the diabetes that's in your family. And I'm speaking honest. This has nothing to do with creativity. Learn about the cancer that is within your dad. Learn about things that you can prevent from getting sick. Shawn, when I got sick, when I battled cancer, dude, I felt like I wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
So I would tell little Jimmy, I don't want him to go through that. I don't want anyone to suffer and go through the pain and the struggle and the fatigue and just I felt like I was gonna get murdered, bro. Like this tumor was murdering my back and my spine. My everything was just being killed. So Jimmy, take care of your body, listen to your body. And then the last thing I would say is stick with Will and Apple. Those dudes are gonna be your friends forever.
Love that.
And on that note,
love that.
We're gonna move on to the next segment. Now,
can I get one more question in?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm always curious because it seems to happen often in the business. I actually asked Shawn this question the very first episode. What's a record that came your way that you guys passed on that you wish maybe you would have said, you know what? That was a good one. We should have taken that.
I mean, Will's written so many records, bro.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he wrote OMG. That was a Black Eyed Peas song. My God.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like, that
was a massive record.
My God. That was a Black Eyed Peas song.
Smasher, too.
So he gave, Usher.
Shout out to Usher.
Usher got that. Will also wrote, We're Just Ordinary People. He wrote that for the Peas.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. That John Legend joint was a Peas song.
That'd have been so ill if y'all came out with a ballad.
Bro, it was ill.
If y'all came out with a ballad,
Will killed that, bro.
Because you guys are known for up tempos. If y'all switched that bitch up and did a ballad, bro.
I mean, it was ill. So those two records.
Ordinary People and OMG.
Yeah. OMG.
Hey, Will, Black Eyed Peas got to do a ballad.
OMG was, I mean, and you have the crowd singing it. Talk about stadium anthems. Right?
That's crazy.
Can you sample your own record?
We did.
If he wrote it and then you gave it away, can you get it back?
That's crazy.
I love this segment, by the way. The segment is the thing that I gravitated to, bro.
Okay. Let me see here. All right, let me see here.
I just want to let you guys know that I'm feeling extra generous today because along with this Where's the Love beautiful rendition, I also want to kick a verse from the Dina Strong song because it correlates with the idea of children crying, children dying, families being displaced, all that stuff, and it's really about the love that I have for Pasadena and Altadena. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'll go into my verse, and then you go into the chorus, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. You point at me. You just go to it.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry, crazy.
Woo! All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is dedicated to Pasadena and Altadena, Malibu, Palisades. It goes like this. Our loved ones, their lost ones, they came from Altadena, Jackie Robinson's. So much history, now there's misery. How the fires got started is a mystery. Was it Edison What's the deal, son? Should we blame the mayor? Oh, Gavin Newsom. Things gotta change, like climate change. 100-mile winds, about a lot of pain. A lot of stress on the brain, gotta maintain. God save us all, please let it rain. Not enough water, putting out the flames. Who's in charge of that? Where the budget at? Spending our tax dollars, who's getting taxed? Even Jake from State Farm giving money back. Altadena strong, Pasadena strong. Malibu Palisades gonna live long.
People killing, people dying.
Hey.
Children hurt and hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach?
Okay.
But you turn the other cheek.
Yep.
Mama, 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 tell us if the guidance from above. Talking got me questioning, where is the love?
Keep it going. The love. Hey, the love.
Where is the
I'm gonna get the second verse. Here goes like this. It just ain't the same, always a change. New days strange, is the world insane? If love and peace is so strong, why are there pieces of love that don't belong? Nation dropping bombs, chemical gases filling lungs of little ones with ongoing suffering. As you die young, so ask yourself, is the love really gone? So I could ask myself, really what is going wrong in this world that we living in? People keep on giving in, make wrong decisions, only visions of them dividends. Not respect each other, neither our brother. A war's going on, but the reason's undercover. Truth is kept secret, swept under the rug. And if you never know truth, you never know love. Where's the love, y'all? And where's the truth, y'all? I don't know.
people killing, people dying, children hurting, hear them crying? Can you practice what you preach, or would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, need some guidance from above.
Cause people got me questioning.
Where's the love? Ooh, oh yeah.
Pasadena strong, Altadena strong. Malibu Palisades gon' live long. Altadena strong, Pasadena strong. Malibu Palisades gon' live long.
How about that? One take Jake. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
Shawn.
please give it up for my brother,
Yes, sir.
Taboo. Hey guys, give it up for him.
Thank you, brother. It's an honor.
This has been another beautiful episode of On That Note. Once again, I am your humble host, Shawn Stockman. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, for watching it, all of that.
Can I ask you for one big favor?
Yeah, sure.
So my daughter Jet,
Uh-huh.
who was part of the song, she's in a dance company called Elements.
Okay.
And her song that she danced to was Motown Philly.
Oh, nice.
She did a choreography piece to Motown Philly.
Nice.
And I would love and be honored if you give her a shout out. Jet.
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 Hey, Jet. This is your Uncle Shawn.
Yep.
And I heard that you did an amazing dance piece to one of our songs, one of my group songs. And one, I can't wait to see it.
Yep.
God bless you. I know you killed it. I know it's amazing. And please, you're more than welcome to use any of your Uncle Shawn songs for any future projects, okay? I love you. And keep doing your thing, all right?
Thank you, Shawn.
There it is, my man. Taboo, guys. Check him out at a stadium near you.
Yep. Dina Strong, baby. Dina Strong.
Hey, y'all, and that was On That Note. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, here's a couple more videos for you to check out. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.